Let's look at this dimensional analysis problem. How many seconds have you been alive? It's an interesting dimensional analysis problem. Of course, it's going to be different depending on how old you are. But if you remember, in our dimensional analysis problem, the first thing that we write down is the given, what we're starting with. So the first thing you want to write down over here is how old you are. So if you're 16, you'd write down 16 years. At the time of this video, I happen to be almost 43, which is rather depressing. 43 years. And then if you remember how to do dimensional analysis, you're going to draw a big line here, and then you're going to put in some vertical lines that represent places that you can put in some conversion factors. And who knows how many we'll need. We'll just give us a whole bunch of places that we can put in conversion factors. You remember what conversion factors are. They're a numerator and a denominator that basically are the same quantities. So I want to know how many seconds. So right now I'm in years. I'm in years, and I want to go until my units are in seconds. And so that tells me how I should do this problem. It's called dimensional analysis. So I'm going to analyze the dimensions. I do not want years. I do not want years as my unit, and right now that's what I have. So I'm going to put that unit on the bottom in my next conversion factor so that I'll be able to cancel it out. Now, what should I go to? What unit should I put in my numerator? Well, I want to get to seconds, but you know, we have to break these problems down sometimes because I don't know how many seconds there are in a year. If I did, I could do this in one step and I'd be done. What do I know what there are in a year? Well, I know that there are days. I know how many days there are in a year. You might know how many weeks there are in a year. But then you'd have to go from weeks to days, so you'd be kind of just wasting some time. If I know how many days there are in a year, I'll go straight to that. Now, how come I wouldn't put months? There's 12 months in a year. How come I wouldn't use that? Well, the answer would be that there's not the same amount of days in a given month, so I'd be in trouble on my next conversion factor. So that's why I don't want to use that. So in 1 year, there are how many days? Well, we'll just keep it easy and just do 365. Technically, there's 365.25, 365 and a quarter days in a year, but we'll just keep it nice and easy here. So my years, you'll see, will cancel, and if I stopped and did the math right now, I'd find out how many days I've been alive. But I want to know how many seconds I've been alive, so I get rid of the days unit. That means I put it down here in my next conversion factor. And I need a conversion factor that converts me from days to, seconds, but I don't know one. I do know that in 1 day I know how many hours there are. So I could put hours on the top, and I could put in my conversion factor. 1 day, there are 24 hours. Days, of course, would cancel, and my units are in hours now. And I don't want to be in hours, I want to be in seconds. So I can keep going. I could put an hour on the bottom, and I could put seconds on the top if I know how many seconds there are in an hour. I happen to do know that. I don't know if you do or not. So I won't do it right now. I'll break this down even further, and we'll go to minutes. So I'll put minutes on the top, and I know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. If you knew how many seconds there were in an hour, you could have put a seconds there on the top, and then you'd be done. But if you don't know it, you don't know it. You just break it down. So I don't want to be in minutes, so I put minutes on the bottom, and I put seconds on the top. And in 1 minute, there are 60 seconds. I can cross off minutes, and I can finally say, aha, there's the unit I've been looking for, so I know that I'll be done. I'm converting it to seconds. Now, in this part right here, I could have done that in one step. I could have said there are 3,600 seconds over 1 hour. 60 times 60 times 60. I could have done that in one step. And so in the future, when I do these problems, I might make my life a little bit easier if I remember there's 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. I could do that in one conversion factor rather than two. So if you remember, what you do now is you multiply all the top numbers and divide by all the bottom numbers, but all the bottom numbers happen to be 1. So I'm going to multiply all these numerators, and I'm going to get a very big number. And really, this is kind of a number, not really a measurement, because I didn't really measure anything. I have all definitions throughout this whole thing. However, I did start with 43, and I guess I can consider that to be my sig figs. So I will use 2 sig figs in this, even though technically the answer would be really this whole thing. It'd be just how many seconds there are total. It's kind of a number, not really a measurement. But I'll go ahead and put this into 2 sig figs, and I'll do that by putting it into scientific notation. So I want to put my decimal right after the 1. So I'm going to do 1 point, and the 3 would round up to a 4, times 10 to the, let's see, what do I have here? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1.4 times 10 to the 9th power seconds. That's a lot of seconds. It'd be interesting to see how many seconds it is for you if you do the math on your age. So that's how to do another dimensional analysis problem. There'll be several more videos on showing us how to do more.